Alright, welcome back to 18.2 Explain 2, or we'll be given a graph this time and asked to find the function of tangent. So we'll have to find our a value and our 1 over b value. Okay. First step we're going to do is find the distance between the isotopes. So remember, our isotopes are those invisible kind of vertical lines. Of course they are visible here. There's one right there and one right there. In fact, I'll go ahead and highlight that for you so you can see it. So there's one right here, as I try and highlight it to the best of my ability, and one right here. That one was nice. And we're going to find the distance between those isotopes. So as you can see here, I have this one that looks like it's going to be, going back to the pen, about 1 here. So that's the first isotope. And then that looks like that's about -1. So what is 1 take away -1? Well, even if we didn't want to figure that out, we could count. That's about 1 space plus another one would be 2 units of space between those isotopes. So right now I have pi times b equals 2. What's the opposite about multiplying? Dividing, right? So we'll divide both sides, and that'll be b equals 2 over pi. So as you can see here, I'm left with, substitute the value of b into the fraction rule. So I'll write in my b value of 2 over pi. Now this is a little weird, so I'm going to kind of simplify this out over to the side here. So it's 1 divided by, that's what this fraction bar means, 2 over pi. So just a refresher on how we divide fractions. That would be 1 multiplied by, we'll flip this over. What's the flip of 2 over pi? Pi over 2. And anything times 1 is just itself, so that'd be pi over 2. So here my new b value would be pi over 2. Now they say use the given point. You're like, what given point? This one right here. See, they give it to us. 1/2 and 2. So let's plug that in. 1/2 will go here and 2 will go there. And let's actually calculate what that would be. Tangent of pi over 2 times 1/2. And let's see if we can solve for a. We're going to take some time to go ahead and calculate that out on our Desmos calculator. Alright, so that we have our graphing calculator up. Now notice how I'm going to find the tangent of a pi symbol or radian. So I want to make sure this shows that my calculator's in degree, this shows that my calculator's in radian. So I just wanted to figure out what tangent of pi over 2 times, because we are multiplying by 1/2, another fraction 1/2. And that would be 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug that into our paper right quick here. So we found the tangent of this was actually 1. So that's 1 times a equals 2. And we can actually figure that out. What's 1 times a? Well, that would just be a equals 2, right? So we found our a value to be 2, and our simplified b value, to be pi over 2. Alright, let's go ahead and do the next one, part B. Alright, so for part B, again, they give us a graph. We're going to start with finding our a value and our b value as well. So we'll start with step 1, where we're going to be going over and finding our b value, which is going to be pi times b equals the distance between the isotopes. So in this case, our isotope here is -3 pi over 2 and +3 pi over 2. So 3 pi over 2, take away a -3 pi over 2. Well, just as a little fraction help, we'll do 3 pi over 2. What's the opposite of a negative? Positive. All right, what's 3 plus 3? 6, right? So that's 6 pi over 2. And can we simplify that out? Can 2 go into 6? And if so, how many times? 3 pi. So that means this would be about 3 pi. Right now I want to get b by itself. What's the opposite of multiplying? I know it's already there, but opposite of multiplying? Dividing. So we're going to divide both sides by pi to get b by itself. And that cancels out. And hey, this cancels out too. So what's b equal to? 3. So let's go ahead and substitute our b value in. And since it's not a weird fraction, I'm not going to have to do what I did on the last problem where I had to simplify it, because it's already a fraction of 1/3. Step 3 is going to be use the given point to find a. Okay, so my given point they give me is this. And that's 3 pi over 2. Oh, sorry, over 4. My bad. And negative 2. So that would be 3 pi over 4 and negative 2. So let's go ahead and figure out what this would be. And let's solve for a, shall we? So again, I'm pulling up my Desmos calculator. Make sure it's in radian, as you can see here, radian. And let's go ahead and put in tan fraction 1/3 times, oh, I should probably backtrack that a little, times our fraction again, 3 pi over 4. And that's also 1. That's interesting. Cool. That's 1. All right. Cool. So let's plug that in back into our paper. All right, so that's 1 that we found on the last page. A times A equals negative 2. All right, well, what's A times 1? A. So that means my A value is negative 2, and my B value is, just like it shows here and here, 1/3. Okay, just like it says at the bottom of the screen right now, and on your paper, stop here and do the problems in your packet, okay? We'll be coming back to go over your homework. You made it through another section of Algebra 2B, Credit 3. Congratulations.